Hey there, my name's Taylor Ludwig. Welcome back to another episode of The Poor Man's Workshop. Today I'm going to show you 5 household items that I keep and I use in my shop all the time. Now, all 5 of these items, this isn't a list of like my favorite or anything. These are just 5 household items that I use in my shop. And you might find that as you're building out your shop, you start to use these items as well. So let's get started. Now, number 1 on my list is an iron. Now, an iron is good for a lot of different things, but there are 2 specific things that I use an iron for in my shop. The first one is to apply edge banding. Typically, you can get edge banding that has the iron-on effect. It has glue on the back that once you heat it up, it will adhere to the piece of wood that you're ironing it onto. So an iron's good to have in the shop for that. The other thing that I use an iron for in my shop is to remove dents from any sort of hardwood or projects that might have gotten dented in the build process or the moving process. So it's really simple to do. You put a damp rag over the dent, and then as you apply the iron, it's gonna steam out and pull those wood fibers back to the surface and create a level surface. Iron's good for iron-on edge banding as well as removing dents from wood. Now, the second household item that I use in my shop a lot is a crock pot. Now, a crock pot, the main purpose for a crock pot is obviously to heat up food, but I'm not eating out here, so the main thing that I use a crock pot for is to make my own finish. For cutting boards and batches of cutting boards that I do, I'll usually create a finish that's a mixture of beeswax and mineral oil. And I'll include it in these tins here. And depending on the cutting board that they give, I'll give them a tin of this waxy paste to be able to maintain and keep their cutting board nice. So crock pots are really easy to come by. You can pick one up at a thrift store for really, really inexpensive. Number 3 on my list of household items is a deck of cards. Now, this may not be your typical household item, but I figured it would be included anyways because it's something that we would keep in our home versus in the shop. But a deck of cards is actually really handy to have when you're installing drawer fronts or even just drawers in general to be able to create good spacing. Number 4 on my list of household items is a pair of silicone dishwashing gloves. Now, typically I'll use these types of gloves when I do any type of staining. I actually like the dishwashing glove style a little bit more because they're a lot tougher. So if you're having to pick up pieces of wood, they're not gonna cut as easily. These actually last a lot longer. I've had this pair for almost a year now, and I've used it on probably at least 10 to 15 different projects. The other thing that's nice about them is that they're really long. If there is a little bit of overspray or over, paint or whatever, then these are going to be able to help protect you a little bit more. So number 4 on my list is a pair of dishwashing gloves. Number 5 on my list of household products is grout brushes. Now, these grout brushes are typically used to clean the grout in your bathroom or in your backsplash. I use grout brushes to actually clean my clamps. When they get a little bit covered in glue squeeze out, I'll use these with a chemical formula to be able to help soften up the glue and remove them. I'll have a video in a little bit about how to properly clean and take care of your clamps so that you don't run into the issue where it's just really hard to use them because they're caked in glue. I've done that before, I understand it. There's 2 different types. There's a metal covered one, and then there's the plastic one as well. I usually use the metal one. Depending on the quality of your clamps, a metal one is gonna do just fine and it won't hurt your clamp as well. Number 5 on my list of household products in my shop is a grout brush or 2. So there you have it. Those are the 5 household products that I have in my shop that I use all the time. You might find that these products aren't really anything that you use in your shop or have no need for, but I use them in my shop all the time. And hopefully this video is helpful, shows you how you can use some household products to actually make your woodworking a little bit more effective and efficient. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you'll be notified anytime we have a new projects and new videos go up. And comment, let me know if you have any other household products that maybe you use in your shop. So again, thanks for watching, and like I always say, never stop creating.